Hey guys, Bryson here, and welcome to the Tommy Bryson Show. And today we are reacting to FaZe Rug. By the way, a YouTuber. He's been in the game for a very long time in gaming, but today we're gonna see exactly how he goes ahead and spends his money. The best money he ever spent, but also the worst money he's ever spent. Let's see exactly how he spends his money, okay? Now, if you're new here, I post videos every single day, so make sure to also subscribe and the bell so you're notified. And on top of that, also destroying the like button. So let's get right into this video and see exactly how FaZe Rug, the YouTuber, spends all of his money.
I think my dumbest purchases were 3 Lamborghinis.
Whoa, so right off the bat, guys, okay, 3 Lamborghinis, okay? And by the way, not everyone can say, hey, yeah, I had like a bad day one day and I spent, for example, all my money on 3 Lamborghinis. By the way, Lambo is like 300,000, right? That's like almost $1 million in cars. I would never, ever, I can say this with clarity these days, you know, I don't ever plan on doing that whatsoever.
I've lost over $1 million on cars. I'm going to tell you.
Oh, so he's lost money on cars too. And by the way, he has a Yeti mic. that's pretty funny, you know. People say like, oh, I need like the most expensive things ever. No, that's a Yeti mic. That's like a normal microphone. You can get it for like 90 bucks and start like all your content and so on, okay? Awesome.
You guys about the best money I've ever spent and the worst money I've ever spent.
I know him because I saw him a lot. For example, like on the whole like remember like Rice Gum guys? Like I saw him with Rice Gum a lot and all those channels. So that's how I found this guy. By the way, those are off-white sneakers. I never wanted to like make content that would force me to dress a certain way. Does that make sense, guys? Like, you know, as a YouTuber and finance and money, I could just be myself. But if I were like a vlogger and like all this stuff, then I would have to be, you know, like kind of like dress to impress and so on and to catch attention. I'm glad I didn't like choose that route, or at least it didn't work out for me.
Here we go. So I started building my empire from gaming to vlog.
Wow, gaming, 3 shots, Black Ops 3. Black Ops 3 is very, very old, man. And by the way, there was a point where I wanted to start making videos like this, like, you know, like the whole gaming thing. But at the time, I was like 11 or 12 years old. I made a few videos, but I had no idea how like to put the audio and so on. And my friends were like, ah, Tommy, don't do that. It's trash. Don't do it. And it kind of like deviated me from it. By the way, whenever you have a goal, be very careful in telling the wrong people, because basically in that moment right there, they can either make or break your dreams. You know, I'm very happy my mom has always been supportive, but be careful who you tell about what you want to do. Just like start what you want to do and get started on it. Don't ask so much opinions.
Vlogging, because I figured that I had a very interesting life outside of the gaming room, where I had an interesting family, my parents.
Yeah, a lot of people, man, because you know, you come from like watching all these creators, but you also want to see like, hey, I wonder how that person is like as a normal individual. So vlogging became very, very big back in like, what was it, like 2016 and 2015? Well, not 2015, like maybe like 2017, vlogging became very, very massive.
My parents were funny, my cousins were funny, and I decided to start vlogging my life and, you know, doing fun challenges, and I actually developed.
That's pretty funny. And by the way, guys, you know, like people started doing the vlogs for fun, and then vlogs started making a lot more money than the other channels, and then they start basically doing like the other channels, okay? It's interesting how YouTube works.
A really, really dope fan base. Shout out to the Rugrats, who support me every day and make me feel really, really comfortable.
That's awesome, man. It's all about like creating like your own audience, and your audience starts with one person, and it's usually gonna be you, and then one person, then 2, then 3, then 4. Start small and get there step by step.
And after transitioning to vlogging, that's where my channel really took off.
Yeah, because it's more personal and more relatable. When did you start making serious money? Let's hear it.
I started making serious money around the age of 16. It was about a year after I started making YouTube.
Woo! Serious money around the age of 16. That's awesome. I think I started after I messed up at 19, like messed up completely. I started doing like a lot more flips, and then eventually like 19 to 20, I started seeing a lot more money.
Videos, and it was...
Is he really burning that money? Look at his parents' face. Is he really burnt? I think that's fake money, right, guys? That has to be fake money.
Really scary to me. I thought it was like fake at first, and so did my parents. So I started my YouTube videos with gaming. I was strictly just a gamer, and I made about 2 gaming videos a day.
Oh, that is awesome, guys. One of the best ways to build a platform is you post every day, quality content, and you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. Okay, that's awesome.
And I would literally just sit in my room all day playing video games, which is what.
By the way, that's a job, okay? You might think it's not a job, but it's actually a job, okay? Like, imagine sitting somewhere down for, like, for example, like, hours and hours, and also trying to entertain people. It's a job. It's a real job.
Made it unbelievable to make money, because back then gaming was seen as like, oh, you're a nerd if you game.
Everyone thought that. Every single person thought that. I laugh at this guy, you know, like FaZe, because in a lot of ways, if it had worked out for me, I could have been who he is also, you know. I'm glad it didn't work out for me that way. Like, I'm not like materialistic. I'm not saying he's materialistic or whatever, but I'm saying I'm happy whatever turned out for me turned out to be this way, like with money and finance, because basically I'm learning something that actually helps me in some way.
But obviously it's different now, and I had to convince my parents so much to let me continue playing and to show them that this money was real. We had to literally call my bank and confirm that the money came through.
Yeah, back then, man, internet money was like such a crazy thing. Like, internet money? You made money through what? I think if you said it, for example, hey, I make videos, I advertise on those videos, and I get paid for that. A lot more believable, but just like saying like I make videos and I get money, parents get freaked out. What did you spend your money on? By the way, YouTubers initially should basically invest all their money, because you get paid a lot of money, but you don't know when it stops.
So when I first started making money, my first thought was to give my parents at least 70% of it, because I was living with them and I didn't really
That is a lot. 70% of all that money. That is a lot.
Have expenses. I didn't have a car at the time. I didn't have anything to really pay off. So the one thing I cared about was giving my parents money.
That is interesting. That's interesting.
And after a few years of saving and, you know, making videos, I did.
That's a BMW, I think. That's a BMW.
Do a lot of dumb purchases. I think my dumbest purchases were 3 Lamborghinis, which I don't do anymore. And
I think everyone goes through that phase, you know, that phase of like, oh my gosh, you know, I gotta get this Lambo, I gotta get this thing, you know, because of like all the marketing behind it, but they don't really market on TV. I understand that, but like, this brand and what it promises you, right? Like, oh, you have a Lambo, you get all the chicks and all this stuff, you know. But once you really understand it, like, oh, it's a car. It gets me from point A to point B, and the people it attracts are those people I actually want around me. But 3 cars, 3 Lambos. I wish it was 3 Hondas. You made that mistake, but you know, it's a big mistake.
And I definitely turned into a hype beast and bought a lot of designer clothes.
Yeah, and by the way, designer clothes, man, just like a shirt. By the way, I think those pants are either Zara or Balenciaga, because I also had like the Zara version of them, and they cost like 90 to like, not back then I was crazy, guys, and the shirt cost like $5.50. Like, I know about this stuff because basically I used to buy the exact same thing, and so did my editor Danny. Thank God, thank God we changed those ways.
I don't do as much anymore.
What's the best financial advice you've received? For me, it's been, you know, a share of all you make is yours to keep. That was in a book called The Richest Man in Babylon. Basically means when you make money, make sure you keep some of it to go ahead and invest for yourself, and you don't just pay out basically to all your bills and everything else.
So the best financial advice I've ever gotten was from my parents, and they always told me to save my money and invest in properties, and I should have stuck with that, because...
And by the way, you know, I think people forget that basically, like, when you invest money, people think like, oh, I don't want to invest money, I want to spend money, right? But when you invest money, you get more money to go ahead and spend and basically just like have fun and do whatever you want.
About 3 years ago, I listened to a friend of mine who begged me and convinced me to invest into this random app, and I invested $250,000.
$250,000 into this random app. I think he's talking about like Fundrise, which is basically like a real estate app. I'm pretty sure that's the one. Maybe I'm wrong.
$250,000 into this app. A month later, the guy just disappeared. My money was gone, and I was like, wow, I'm never doing that again.
Oh, wow. So he like, oh, it's a random app that he had no idea about, and the friend just recommended it. Yeah, man. Before you invest anywhere, you gotta verify like deep. Like that's why I love the book. What's it called? I don't have it on me right here, guys, but it's called Delegation, and it says trust but verify. You trust someone, but you verify what the heck they're saying. $250,000 is a lot of money.
I trusted my friend, but I didn't trust the guy obviously running the app. The property will go up in value over time. And you know, when I'm 40, 50, I'm gonna have those paid off and I will be chilling.
It's interesting how these guys with the whole like property things, like, you know, when I'm 30, 40, the property would be paid off, but they buy like Lambos for cash, if I'm not mistaken. And they lost like $1 million in cash. Like, why not just like buy these properties, you pay them off, and you don't have any debt like crazy. You have like 10 properties, you're good to go. You get all that cash flow. That's great, you know. But the debt portion is what's risky, because when you make this much money from YouTube, by the way, YouTube does not last forever. A lot of creators go from, hey, I'm all the way up here to all the way down here. You have slow months, and so do I. Okay, I have slow months also. It's a part of the game, and that's why you gotta grab the money you make and you gotta invest. What's the secret to growing your brand? I think the secret is content, consistency, and also just being yourself. I think that goes a long way. I think pretending to be something you're not is such a task. It's such a big task, and it's so annoying too. Like, I just wouldn't be happy.
So we do more than just gaming now. We have a ton of parts to FaZe. Like, we have the music side, we have the gaming side still, of course. We have the entertainment side, and we have a ton of athletes in FaZe, such as Ben Simmons.
That's interesting.
You know, Juju Smith from the Steelers. Bronny, actually LeBron James' son, just joined FaZe.
Oh, that's interesting. That's pretty cool.
And it's literally turned into a lifestyle. It's like a culture. We want FaZe to be seen as not just gaming, but this worldwide culture that I think...
It sounds like he's making connections with people and turning them into super fans. By the way, like, people sometimes don't know what they're saying, but they just say like organically. This is called basically like creating a brand to a company and creating brand loyalty. That's what he's talking about here. Read a book. It's called 1,000 Super Fans by... forgot this guy's name. But look it up. It's just called like 1,000 super fans. It's just called Super Fan. Here's a book right here. It's like red. Super Fans. It'll help you out a lot when it comes to like building a brand and so on.
I think we're doing a pretty good job at. And you know, we all...
Peter Flinch. Peter Flinch is his name, I think. Peter Flinch is the guy's name.
Also have rappers in FaZe, like Offset joined FaZe. Cardi B surprised them with a FaZe chain, which is pretty dope. And
I used to love chains, guys. I used to love chains, you know. And by the way, I never actually bought a chain, but when I actually had the money, I remember I was gonna buy like a Cuban chain. It was like $3,000, and I spoke to someone and said, "Tommy, that's gonna be the stupidest thing you ever do in your life. Don't do it. I have a chain. It's dumb. Don't do it." I wanted it so bad, and you know, I listened to people that make sense, so I said, "Okay, I won't buy it. But thank God I didn't buy that chain.
I think we're just gonna keep going up to the top and take over the world.
How do you break into Hollywood? Interesting. I remember, for example, people wanted to break into Hollywood so bad from YouTube and, like, you know, do movies. And then now Hollywood wants to break into YouTube and use all these YouTube creators to basically build their brand. So it's interesting how things have flipped.
Making a scary movie was a dream of mine. Actually, just making a movie in general, but scary was in my realm because I love making scary YouTube videos.
That's funny, because when I was in high school, not high school, middle school, I wrote this whole essay about how I wanted to be a director for like scary movies and so on. And the teacher told me, "Tommy, this is so unrealistic. Don't even try to do this, okay?" But you know, right then I was like, "Oh my God, like, how can you say that to a kid?" But you know, it was unrealistic, especially because basically I come from an island back then. But it's not the right way to go about saying that. But yeah, it was. I also was interested in this too. Who knows? I might do it one day. I worked in the movie industry, by the way. It's not that fun. It's like 14-hour days, man. I can't do those. Especially like just standing around and just, it's not my thing.
So when I was pitched to do a scary movie, I was like, oh yes, no questions asked. Just, I want to make a scary movie. And then I found out the director was Greg Plotkin, which he actually did Paranormal Activity.
Oh, I remember Paranormal Activity, man. Those movies sucked. I never liked those movies. Like, it was cool, like mysterious. I watched it once. I was like, what's going on here? I was like, what's going on here? Like the battery died. I was like, I didn't like those movies at all. But I'm not saying all the movies are bad. I haven't watched this movie, but I did not like those movies at all. One of my favorite scary movies is called like Mother with Jennifer Larson, I think her name is. I love that scary movie.
He edited Get Out.
Oh, Get Out was an amazing movie. Get Out was insane.
He edited Happy Death Day. Like, he's worked on really big films, so I was like, this is actually going to be legit.
That's awesome.
And, you know, we filmed it in 3 weeks, 12 hours.
Yeah, by the way, movies get filmed very quickly, and the days are very long.
Production days, and I think it personally turned out really, really well. The movie itself,
that's awesome,
comes out on the 29th, but...
The 29th of 2020. Wow, so this movie came out a long time ago. It's been like almost like a few, not really that long, guys. Maybe like 6 months or so, but solid.
I can't really say too much about it. It's just expect some maybe scary clowns in it.
What's the best money you've ever spent? I'm guessing he's gonna say real estate or maybe real estate. I don't know. He doesn't sound like he knows so much about the stock market and stuff like that. But let's see what he says.
So I plan on continuing to buy more property and investing in my YouTube channel because every video that I make is an investment. So
yeah, it is true, you know, because, well, it depends, right? Some people make content that you make that content and it's gone, right? For example, like you guys know Keemstar with Drama Alert. That content is like the minute you make that, you're done, right? There are no more views on that anymore, right? Because you make content once, it's basically on the news for that day, and that's it, right? Nobody watches that video again. However, when you make content that's gonna be here for a long time, we call that evergreen content, where people can go ahead and watch that video over and over again. Then that's called evergreen content. So this guy right here, FaZe, I know he makes like very like big videos and so on. So yeah, these videos are investments because in a way, people are gonna keep watching it and watching it and watching it over and over again. So pretty awesome.
The more you spend on your YouTube videos, the higher quality you get, and then
sometimes, not really though, not really. I think that's like a mix up there. Casey Neistat, Mr. Beast, they spend a lot of money these days, but they never used to do that much, you know, and they still made like a lot of money also back then, right? So don't think that basically if I don't have a lot of money, I can't do what they do. The answer is no. You don't need that much. All you need is a good story and a good way to tell it. So don't be that worried about it.
And the more viewers you're attracted. I haven't really talked about this on my YouTube channel, but I own 11 properties as of now, and
that is awesome. 11 properties, that's all cash flow, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't own them in cash because he said, you know what, when I'm 30 or 40, these properties will be paid off. So most likely, he's not paying for them in cash. So he's borrowing all this money. Be careful with that.
I learned that that's the best investment you could ever possibly go to. And
real estate is important. It just depends on the area. And also depends, for example, on the situation, right? Pandemic, real estate was not that great, right? Because you have people, for example, now having to pay rent. Also, if you invest, for example, in an A area where very expensive, but people don't have any money anymore, it's a problem. Usually you want to invest into like C areas where people are always going to want those areas because it's cheap and also in demand, but like a nice property and so on. So it depends on the location you pick also for properties. It's not just like a invest and you always make money with real estate.
I'm just really excited to keep building that empire.
What's your advice to young content creators? My advice would be just get started and make content and learn and fall in love with the journey. Yes, money's important, but it's not everything.
My advice to all the young people out there trying to make money is to do what you love. If you love streaming, give it a shot. It's not going to happen overnight, just like my success didn't happen.
Wow, 2009, 2019. We're talking about 10 years. Well, now this is 2020. So now that's, for example, like 11 years. 2021, 12 years, right? I've been doing it for a very long time, since I was like 11 or 12. So a very long time too, right? But it's all step by step. You got to keep growing.
Overnight. And a lot of people's success doesn't happen overnight, but I actually see
it doesn't.
See a lot of TikToks that people are streaming, and you know, it's always good to share your content on other social media.
Yeah, so you want to diversify. YouTube is great. Instagram is also good. TikTok is great. You want to make sure you have multiple platforms.
And that could potentially bring you new viewers. And if you love making YouTube videos, make a YouTube channel.
Yeah, look at his yeah, his channel is really good. I remember I saw a few of his videos, but he gets a lot of views, you know? A lot of views. Awesome.
Be yourself. Make fun videos and never listen to what people have to say, because I was doubted a lot as
Yeah. I wish I had that mindset back then, you know, but back then I was because we used to move around a lot, so I always wanted to be liked by other kids and so on. So I would just take whatever advice it was and be like, okay, I'm gonna take your advice, whatever. I'm not gonna do this. But these days I'm more like, you know, I don't really care what you gotta say. I'm a grown man or whatever. But you gotta build it up. So Yeah, you want to just do what you want to do and try it out and continue.
As a kid, especially in high school when I was gaming.
That's a cinnamon challenge. I hated that challenge so much. It was a terrible challenge.
Everyone was telling me stop gaming, but look at where we are today, and I followed my dreams. And
10 years and 16 million subscribers. That is a lot of work, but step by step. That's awesome.
8 years later, we're at 17 million subscribers.
Awesome.
Baby.
What's your secret to financial success? Save, invest. That's what you're gonna say.
My secret to financial success is to save your money. Literally save it. Even if you want to spend some money, put half of the money you make into a separate bank account and forget about it.
Yeah, but not just save. It's more like investing, right? That's the big thing. And yes, I do agree. You want to have, I actually made a video today about this stuff, Danny. The whole thing is, my editor is named Danny, by the way. But the whole thing is that, yeah, you want to have everything separate, right? You want to have money separate. If you want to spend the money, put it in a separate account. That way you're not tempted to go ahead and basically spend that money. But the bulk of it is you want to invest.
Pretend you didn't make that money and let it stack up every single month. And 3 years from now, you will see a big chunk in your bank account. And of course, help your family out if they need it.
Yeah.
Because that's the greatest gift.
What's your money mantra? Oh, this is interesting. Let's hear it.
My slogan when it comes to money is don't buy 3 Lamborghinis.
Don't buy 3 Lamborghinis. Nice one, right?
Because it is not good, and I've lost over $1 million on cars. All right, and
yeah, that's insane.
I think after all this, I'm not gonna buy any more Lambos. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, I mean, once you, by the way, and those cars are very expensive to actually fix, you know, that's what I don't like them that much. But guys, overall, my advice is this, okay? What have I thought about this, okay? The answer is a YouTuber makes a lot of money. Is he a financial expert? The answer is no, but not everyone is. But yeah, he's also investing, doing what he has to do. But my advice would be, like, be careful getting into so much debt with real estate, assuming that your income is going to stay the same and you also have tenants. Be very careful with that stuff, okay? My advice would be, hey, if you have money, start paying them off, you know? And that way you have, for example, free cash flow coming in and it's 100% yours, and that way that you're good to go. And if you want to buy a lamp, I don't know, man. When it comes to like those luxury vehicles, it might just be better to lease one for like 2-3 years and just call it a day, just so you can see what it's like. But to own one of those for like, what is like $300,000, it's a lot of money. So I would probably never do that. Well, you never know. I might buy a Lambo, but when I do buy a Lambo, it has to be such a small amount of my net worth to where it won't matter. But it can't be like even like 10% or 20% or even like 5%. It has to be such a small amount where it's like, oh, Tommy spent that much money, but does it really matter? The answer is no. Only then would I consider buying a Lambo. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. And by the way, guys, comment down below, let me know if you could have any car, what car would it be? Comment down below, let me know. I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, like, subscribe, hit the bell, so get notified. If you guys want to text me, well, join me on Patreon, link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at Tommy Bryson. Before I go, if you want to watch another video, guys, here's that video right here, and click my face right here. See you guys tomorrow. And as always, peace.